Hello everyone. Today in this video we're going to be going over the Daffodil team comp. This is going to be a Discord team. So we're going to have an Incantation team member and a Psyche team member. In my case, we went for Baisang, HANIEL, and Fadia. Now I used my selector on Daffodil and my second selector on Baisang so that I could have this team. They're a really good team together. You can check out, kind of look at their basic stats, everybody's basic stats. Nothing super duper impressive. I'm not a whale or anything. I haven't been like, no life in this game. But with everything that I've been able to get basically for free with this game, I've got a pretty solid beginning end game squad with Daffodil, and it'll be even better once Lacrimosa gets here. I've got A1 Daffodil actually, and the game has given me 1,000,000 copies of HANIEL. Everybody's skills are level 4, you know what I'm saying? I've really only kind of started getting to, in-game levels of destructive capability. But I'm going to show you kind of what the rotation looks like so that you can get the reactions that you want. So we're going to be mainly targeting Nova and Scorch, and with both of those combined we'll be able to trigger Discord, which is the third one. And Daffodil's specialty, she has a Discord enhancement that goes along with like her Phantom Step, for example. Baisang has a Scorch enhancement with his marks that he places. Both HANIEL and Fadia have Nova enhancements, and both of them are pretty excellent. HANIEL's, huge attack buff. Fadia's, it gives you that increased like life play and health play. And Fadia is actually really good for triggering back-to-back Discord reactions, especially if you were using HANIEL correctly and you were using Daffodil correctly. Now Daffodil, you kind of want to prime her, and then get her ready to go, but don't get her completely to the point of reaction. You actually want to then swap to Baisang, and I'm going to show you what that looks like here. So we're going to start off our rotation with Daffodil, just get her a couple moves in so that we're charging up her cycle, and then we're going to swap to Baisang. We're going to get him charged up. I like to just honestly throw out everything that he's got. He's good because he can hit at range. His dodging is pretty clean, and once he's ready, boom, you swap to Daffodil. She comes in. It takes only a couple moves. Scorch lasts for 15 seconds, so then you can swap to HANIEL, for example. Drop the ultimate, and you get Nova and Discord at the same time. Come back in with Daffodil if you had enough. If you can put enough pressure on to get the ult, while Discord is still burning, and then cycle back through with Baifang again. If you get the break, obviously you want to come back to Daffodil, especially if she has Phantom Step. You can see that takes a huge chunk out of the damage. Cycle back to Baisang. We don't completely go off with Daffodil. We save her until Baisang is ready to react. And not during these like floor weirdness. I did it here, but typically you don't want to do that. As you saw just now, I got an extra kind of bonus reaction in there with her Phantom Step as I triggered Discord. So we were able to get those back to back. But as you can see, I was able to get the Discord back to back and Daffodil's Phantom Step along with everybody's ult, and we absolutely cleaned house. And I'm telling you, when you combine all four of these characters, have enhancements for all three of the Esper Cycle reactions that we're triggering here. So the interplay with this team is phenomenal. It's a really excellent team, and you don't actually need both Haniel and Fadia for this team to work. You can use just Haniel and you'll have enough firepower if you have another DPS character, or if you want to use a different support character. For example, I like to use this team sometimes with Sakura instead of one of my two psychic characters. But again, you're going to prime Daffodil up first by, getting her moves in here. If you don't know, she has a slick dodge cancel, which you can do off of her regular attack and off of her special. So I'll show you, or her skill. So I'll show you what that looks like. So that's her regular dodge cancel, okay? And then you can skill cancel. I'll show you that. It's very quick. I don't know exactly why you might want to skill cancel, but you can. Just know that that's there. But yeah, so you'll prime Daffodil, come in with Baisang, get his reaction cycle. I like I said, I like to drop everything as soon as everything is ready with him. I like to drop everything, as much damage as possible, so that when we go into the reaction cycle with Daffodil, she can then come in with burst damage on top of that and nuke. And then when Haniel comes in, then you trigger Discord on top of that. If you happen to use her ultimate beforehand, Daffodil's ultimate beforehand, you'll get the Phantom Step and come back in, hot swap back out to Fadia real quick. Hopefully Fadia's meter will be charged. Swap back to Daffodil again, get another Nova, and you may even be able to pull off another Discord if the other Discord is still lingering still, which you I believe saw during our gameplay a minute ago while we were fighting the Iraqi. And that is how you do it. You prime with Daffodil, swap to Baisang, trigger it with Daffodil, get the buff with Haniel, trigger Discord, Phantom Step with Daffodil, go to Fadia, trigger Discord again, and then rinse and repeat. So it's going to be Daffodil, Baisang, Daffodil, Haniel, Daffodil, Fadia, Daffodil, Baisang. That's basically Daffodil every other character. And once you get Lacrimosa, you can swap out which of your Chaos characters you're using. I'm probably going to be using Lacrimosa and sub out Fadia, to be honest, unless it's more difficult content. But you can see, like, their support skills, they all have these enhancements to the Esper Cycle that absolutely, like, it makes the amount of damage that you can do and the amount of utility that you get from Scorch alone really good. And then in combination with each of the various characters' abilities, it makes Discord a little broken with Daffodil. But again, the game gives you so many copies of Haniel. When you get prequel and sequel gives you crit damage bonus across the entire team. And then, like I said, I got A1 for Daffodil. I got a natural pull of Daffodil and a natural pull of Fadia among the S characters that I pulled from the standard banner. And then I used the selector for Daffodil, and I used the selector for Baisang, and that's how I put this team together. She's got a bunch of different abilities that you can use that I'm sure are really cool. I just went with the simplest one that ignores the target's defense, because why wouldn't you want to just get a straight up ignore their defense? That's the simplest thing. I don't have to do any other math. Her Useful Fantasy arc, the Black Tome, if you look at this automatically gives you extra chaos damage. It gives you DOT. Each time that you're cycling for Discord, because you're going to have to cycle 2 characters to trigger Discord, you're automatically going to be unlocking the tome as soon as you trigger your reactions to get Discord, and then you can black tome on top of that. If you happen to get the break and her phantom step, it's absolutely broken. Okay. As far as the console, you can see our console. I don't have the best setup on our console. I haven't really been grinding that yet. I am not super high in my hunter level. I just got to 40 not that long ago. I think I'm only 43. I haven't been doing the rabbit hole a whole lot to get better cartridges. The one I have is not all that great, but mostly I went for crit rate. Crit rate, a little bit of crit damage and crit rate were mostly what I was looking for. As you can see, I got a ton of like defense and like just straight attack and HP bonuses. She's super tanky. She's like super tanky for a sub DPS. She's super tanky. She's not even really meant to spend that much time on the field. Honestly, Baisang is like more comparable, I'd say, to Nanally, if I were to separate my 2 teams right now. Even though Daffodil is intended to be the main, and she was the one that I pulled for. Daffodil team and Nanally team, the Discord team and the Blossom team, or the Scorch and Blossom team, respectfully. Scorch and Blossom are the best 2 damage cycles that you can currently get right now. So it's very strong to use these combinations of characters, and you can grind all of this stuff up, for free. With Daffodil and Baisang together, if you're fortunate enough to get the 2 of them together on a team, it's the perfect team synergy. Haniel and Fadia, they're interchangeable, but you can also use both of them, as you just seen that I did, and it absolutely wrecks. And the game is going to give you 1,000,000 copies of Haniel, I promise. So, like, I wouldn't even, like, I don't even know what half of the abilities, like, how all the interplay and math works with adding all this extra, the paranormal ace state, and, I don't know anything about all the extra math. All I know is that when you have Haniel on your team, you're going to be doing extra DOT, you're going to be doing extra damage team-wide. It's just a really good attack buff team-wide. Fadia, excellent damage sponge. She redistributes damage once she runs out of HP. You drop her on the field, hit her ult, she heals. You get your heals in. It puts her in her what is it, Lilith state. You can get extra heals. It gets her enhancement for Nova, which contributes to Discord. All in all, this team setup is absolutely stacked when you have them on a team together. Haniel is really the secret weapon. Fadia, if you're facing something that's kind of difficult and you need a little bit extra, health protection, then Fadia is good insurance. But honestly, half the time I run Sakuri and Haniel with Baisang and Daffodil, and that's the team. But that is your rotation. That is your Discord team. That is your breakdown. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you liked the video. Thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Check out my other videos. I have a Nanally video coming, too.